I'm having one of those days where I'm trying not to let everything just be awful. Maybe I shouldn't have filmed today. Everything is kind of awful, and I don't like it, and there's not really much I can do about it. We are passengers on this ride of awfulness as everything collapses. And another food processing plant, goes offline because of fire. If you're watching these kind of things, there seems to be a lot of them, and not great. Not great. Just not great. Yeah. Look at these banana curls today. It's kind of trying to eat my face. Every 4 or 5 years I chop it all off because it drives me crazy, and I'm gonna stop doing that. It gives me headaches when it gets to a certain length because it's just so big and heavy and I just can't do it. Maybe I'll show you a picture of what I was like when I was a teenager when it's big. Because you know what? I am very easily distractible. It is what it is. So hi! It's back to school time! Back to school supply time is my favorite time of year. The fall, where all the supplies are very cheap, very accessible, and they're in big bins in all of the stores. You can pick up a pack of crayons for 35 cents, sort of thing. And a new wood ruler for 25 cents. And, with inflation going out of control, they're still putting the back to school supplies on for cheap. So we're still gonna have a good time with them because why not? You don't need fancy supplies to make a cool thing. Heck no. Who says adults can't play with them too? So let's play with them. You remember CRA-Z-ART? The super cheap supplies? The alternate to Crayola? Well, there used to be Rose-Art, but Rose-Art is gone. If I can go to Walmart at this time of year and get CRA-Z-ART for less than $1 a piece, I'm gonna do that. If this is all you can afford, you can still do fun stuff with this. Heck yes. Very cheap, very fun, very bright, very colorful. You got a couple of bucks you can spend on some supplies. You can get some kid supplies. Back to school time right now. I don't remember if these are good. I don't remember if these are bad. These could be really, really awful. And I have no idea. They're probably gonna be awful. They're very cheap. Ones that you're kind of like, aw man, Mom, why didn't you get me Crayola? Yeah, you got something like this instead? Well, maybe you could still do something cool with them. We're gonna give it a shot. Because you probably can. Probably can. Oh, my favorite time of year. My favorite time of year.
It's such a treat just to open up a fresh pack of markers or pens or pencils or any of that kind of stuff. I just love that so much. There's just something delightful about it. I gotta tell you, a lot of these markers are real dry. So even if they cost 50 cents for 10, is it really worth it if you only get maybe one drawing out of them? I would rather just get the Crayola ones. These colored pencils, though, can we talk about this? This was a hell of a surprise. These are very nice. Holy cow, I was very, very pleasantly surprised. I would use these again. I'd say similar quality to Crayola. I have no complaints. Other than colored pencils for my hands, so I don't use them. So, but that's just me and my fussy joint and tendon issues, that sort of thing. Y'all, if you like crayons, go get a pack of these crayons. They're 35 cents at Walmart. I think we've been sleeping on these because these were fantastic. Holy cow. I might have to go get me another pack. Look at how beautiful these are. Oh man, we're going to do some good art with this. Heck yes.
Meditation time. Not meditation time. Should be meditation time. Filming instead. Because I'm bad. Sometimes you just gotta take a minute with a cup of coffee and just sit and exist. Filters out a lot of heavy metals that coffee does. And hope your back doesn't give out. Oh no. I fell down the stairs the other day because I am clumsy. And my back doesn't like it when I do that. It just misbehaves for a while after that happens. I didn't actually hurt myself, so I'm totally fine. I'm just being dumb. I did it dumb. Didn't like it. Do not recommend. I wish I knew a lot more history. I do. I wish I knew a lot more real history, if I'm lucky. through time, a lot more true history will be revealed to us. That's what I'm really hoping. Because, I spent my formative years reading countless books, countless history and mythology books, and those sorts of things. And, a lot of that stuff is just propaganda of the past. It doesn't mean it's actually true. It doesn't mean it's actual history. Not at all. It's just what has survived through the people who get to decide those sorts of things. It's a very easy process to change history if you know how to do it. If you know the processes and can control the routes of communication. If you can do that, you can change history very quickly. How many generations do you think it actually takes before you can completely rewrite what's in history? How many generations do you think? 4, 5, 6 even? That's only a few hundred years. That's it. And I fluctuate back and forth between wanting to know and not wanting to know. Wanting to be one of the sleepwalking people. I don't actually want to be one of the sleepwalkers. It's just I'm tired. I've been tired a long, long time. A long time. I'm waiting for more people to catch up. I don't know if that'll happen. I'm hopeful. There's always room for hope. There is. There's always room for that. There always is. It doesn't matter what the outcome is. It doesn't matter what it looks like. Because there's always room for hope. There's always room for it. Because the universe is a balance, and balance will always be restored. It always will. It just may take generations to do so. Time and karma is not done on a scale that is really comprehensible to us. There is forms of karma and that sort of thing. But it's on a larger scale. It's on a population scale. It's on a species scale. It's not just so much, and transactional one-to-one basis per person. It doesn't always work that way. Sometimes you're a passenger on the ride. And there's not much you could do about that other than enjoy the ride. Because that's the point. We are here to learn and grow and, experience and to add. That's why we're here. As beautiful and ugly as that is at the same time. One of the craziest things about really finding out what is awful about the food supply and what we're actually eating as humans is that I got off of seed oils and my depression went away. That's not a joke. Lifelong depression just went away. Took a few months of just getting those seed oils and the corn syrup. So seed oils are things like vegetable oils, which is soybean oil, canola oil, sunflower seed oil, any oil that comes from a seed. Don't eat those. They're not fit for human consumption. They're machine lubricant. That's what I think of them as. They're really doing damage to my body and probably damage to everybody else who's eating them too. A lot of my body issues have started reversing. It's really amazing in a lot of ways. And I wish I would have figured this out years ago. Because I'm now at a place that I have a lot to walk back. I worked in the medical field for 8 years. And spending that much time with people who practice medicine, you start to grasp how little any of them actually think about things at all. There's so little critical thinking and any of it all the way down the line. I was on the administrative side, so I was an auditor. I used to audit doctors. I would audit their process. So I would audit their documentation and how they were seeing patients and best practices for certain chronic conditions and how best to deal with these chronic conditions that seem to be very connected to other chronic conditions. So, the patients that have type 2 diabetes would often start adding other type of conditions as well after that first diagnosis. And so if the patient was an HMO patient, it was very important to be able to count all of the chronic conditions along with the other issues that were going on. The HMO tries to see the patient in a more holistic sort of way. It's not really the outcome, but that's the stated kind of goal. And I can tell you from experience, none of these doctors that I audited have any thought about what is the origin of the conditions. So I would have regular meetings with these doctors and talk to them about their processes and what they were doing. And I was the one actually performing, delivering the audits to them. So I worked within a physician-owned company. So I was, they were my clients. I worked for them. So my job was to help them minimize the risk in what they were doing in treating patients. That's what I was doing. That's what I did for a living. And I can tell you from talking to hundreds of these people, hundreds of these medical professionals, that not a single one of them seemed curious about what created diabetes, what starts diabetes. Not a single one of them seemed very interested in where heart disease comes from, or to ask, why has the percentages of people with chronic conditions shot up so much in the last 50 years? None of them seemed interested in that at all. None of them. All they did is push pills and shots and things of that nature. There was very little critical thought at all. Very little of it. A whole bunch of stressed out, overworked people with no extra capacity to actually consider what they were doing. It's really sad, actually. Really sad for everybody involved. Really a sad time. It's not going to turn out well for those doctors. It's really not. I'm sure most of them don't even know yet, but it's not going to turn out well. It's sad. It's really sad. There's a lot of sad things nowadays. You just got to keep going. That's all you can do. That's really all you can do. I wish I had nice things to say about working in the medical field. I wish I had nice things to say about that job, but I really don't. I really don't. Just an overriding sadness. That's all I got. I didn't trust doctors before. I definitely don't trust them after. It didn't help working for them. It just, it made it more clear to me. A lot of things more clear to me. You want to get healthy? It's a lot easier than you think. Stop eating trash food. Really. Really that. Don't drink water that's fluorinated. Okay? Don't use any products with fluoride in it. It's a neurotoxin. Don't eat anything with seed oils in it. It's bad. Don't eat anything with soy. Don't do it. It's super highly GMO processed. Just don't. If you start looking at the backs of the nutrition labels on all the foods in America, you'd be amazed how many things have soy lecithin in it as a emulsifier. It's not needed. It's not at all. It just must be real cheap because it's in everything. Same thing with seed oils, by the way. You know, there is soybean oil in so much stuff. That's soy. Don't eat soy. Don't do it. I've even started transitioning into natural clothing. So, you know, cottons and linens and wools and those sorts of things. I'm tired of wearing polyester. That's just, you know, it's essentially wearing a plastic bag. I don't want to go around wearing a plastic bag. That just sounds awful. Awful. Is it too much to ask to not be poisoned by every single thing in my environment? Like, every single thing? Is it too much to ask? Maybe I shouldn't be filming today. I'm not in a great mood. I am a curmudgeon today. Just a little bit of a curmudgeon. Everything is awful, and there's not much I could do about that. But if we get more people to figure all this stuff out, to actually see things, it's gonna get better quicker. That's really it. That's really it. That's the crux of it.